In the heart of the Iranian plateau, around 590 BCE, a child was born whose destiny would forever be intertwined with the fate of nations and the course of the world history. His name was Cyrus. Imagine a land of vast plains, towering mountains and roaring rivers. Tribes scattered across the region competed for resources and influence, each vying for control, yet unaware that a single life would later alter the destiny of many. Cyrus, the son of a local prince, grew up surrounded by politics, power, and the realities of war. From an early age, he witnessed how the rulers of Media wielded authority through force, and how ordinary people often bore the brunt of conflict. As a youth, Cyrus was trained in warfare, but he also became deeply interested in history, culture, and religion. He understood that conquering an empire required more than just a sword. It required insight into people, alliances, and diplomacy. He realized that lasting power came not only from defeating enemies, but also from winning hearts. During his adolescence, Cyrus faced numerous rebellions and internal threats. Rival princes and governors attempted to seize power, yet he gradually consolidated control over various territories through courage, intelligence, and careful planning. He did not simply seek physical conquest. He aimed to unify people under his leadership. He knew that if people followed him willingly, his empire would endure far longer than any ruled by fear alone. After securing power in central Iran, Cyrus turned his gaze westward. The Median Empire, the dominant force of the time, controlled vast territories in Mesopotamia, and its citizens lived under strict rule and heavy taxation. Many resented their rulers. Cyrus carefully studied weaknesses in the enemy's structure and began to form alliances with local leaders. Rather than striking head-on, he prepared to outmaneuver the Median forces strategically. From a young age, Cyrus recognized the importance of religion and culture. He understood that governing a vast and diverse empire required respect for local beliefs. This approach would later prove essential during his conquest of Babylon and his interaction with the Jewish exiles. Cyrus knew that Babylon could not be taken by force alone. Victory required strategy, diplomacy, and precision. Every decision would carry military, political, and cultural significance. He understood that this city was not merely a prize of conquest, but a symbol of power, wealth, and history itself. In 539 BCE, Cyrus the Great embarked on one of the most daring and meticulously planned campaigns in history. The conquest of Babylon, a city famed for its massive walls and legendary wealth. Babylon was a center of culture, religion, and trade, a city that resisted countless invasions over the centuries. Yet, Cyrus approached the challenge with a combination of strategy, patience, and psychological insight. He gathered a formidable army not only well-equipped, but disciplined and strategically developed. Cyrus's forces advanced along the Tigris and Euphrates, carefully securing key locations along the route. Unlike many conquerors, he avoided unnecessary bloodshed. Villages and towns along the way were approached with respect, demonstrating that the Persian approach combined military prowess with diplomacy. Cyrus negotiated with local leaders, winning their cooperation with promises of security and maintaining their status. He understood that no city could be conquered if its people resisted. By first winning hearts and minds, he made the physical conquest of Babylon far easier. As the Persian army reached Apis, a critical defensive outpost near Babylon, a brief but decisive engagement took place. Utilizing clever tactics and exploiting weaknesses, Cyrus avoided a prolonged battle and opened a path to the city. His strategic brilliance became evident. He was not merely a warrior, but a master of psychological and operational planning. As Babylon's walls loomed closer, the soldiers felt both awe and tension. Imagine towering walls, canals, and golden gates, all manned by vigilant guards. Yet, on the day of entry, what they found was extraordinary. Cyrus led his army in organized precision, showing no chaos or distraction. The Babylonians, expecting devastation, were instead met with order and promises of safety. Cyrus personally met the city's leaders, reassuring them that their lives, property, and religious practices would be respected. His approach was revolutionary. It demonstrated that true conquest could be achieved through wisdom, not solely through violence. Many Babylonians, moved by this unexpected mercy and foresight, opened the gate willingly, allowing Cyrus to enter the heart of the city unopposed. Upon entering, Cyrus survived the demonstration, temples, and civic structures. He issued decrees to restore damaged temples, returned sacred idols to rightful places, and abolished forced labor, ensuring that Babylon's citizens were integrated into his new empire with dignity. This marked the beginning of a new era for both Babylon and the Persian Empire. This historic entry laid the groundwork for profound changes in the region. Babylon's citizens, having witnessed mercy with governance, began to trust the new ruler. Cyrus's model of combining military strategy with respect for culture and religion would become a hallmark of his region. After entering Babylon, Cyrus enacted measures that were unprecedented in the annals of conquest. Not only did he secure the city, but he also initiated a policy of religious and cultural restoration. According to the Cyrus Cylinder, he proclaimed that Marduk, the chief god of Babylon, had chosen him to be king, and he would return the city's deities to their temples and restore those who had been exiled. For the Jewish exiles, this was monumental. Taken to Babylon dedicated earlier by Nebuchadnezzar II, they had lived in foreign lands, yearning for home. Now, they received news that they could return to Judah and rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. The book of Ezra recounts, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord stirred the spirit of Cyrus to issue a decree that all these exiles may return to their homeland and rebuild the house of the Lord. Imagine the caravans moving slowly westward, families carrying their belongings, elders whispering prayers, children looking around in awe and hope. It was a journey not only across geography but through time, memory, and faith. For the exiles, every step toward Jerusalem was a step toward reclaiming identity and history. Simultaneously, Cyrus implemented administrative reforms across his empire. His government model combined local autonomy with central oversight. Satraps managed provinces but local customs, religions, and traditions were respected. This policy of inclusion ensured stability in an empire that stretched from the Aegean Sea to the Indus River. The long-term effects of these actions were profound. For the Jewish people, it marked the beginning of the Second Temple period. For the wider empire, it set a precedent of ruling through respect and inclusion, rather than pure coercion. Historical accounts describe Cyrus as a ruler whose fame spread not only through conquest, but through the lasting peace and order he established. Even centuries later, scholars, historians, and religious leaders recognize Cyrus as a figure who combined military skill with administrative genius. He became known as the Anointed One in Jewish tradition and as a wise and just ruler across many cultures. With Babylon secured and Jewish exiles allowed to return, the region entered a period of renewal. Temples were restored, city infrastructures repaired, and civic life slowly resumed. With Babylon secured and Jewish exiles allowed to return, the region entered a period of renewal. Temples were restored, city infrastructures repaired, and civic life slowly resumed. Cyrus personally oversaw these changes, ensuring that religion and culture were central to governance. The Cyrus cylinder records that he returned religious icons and reinstated proper rituals, solidifying his legitimacy in the eyes of the people. Imagine the return of the exiles, men, women, and children walking across the plains with hope in their eyes. For many, it was the first step toward reclaiming their homeland, their traditions, and their identity. Jerusalem began to take shape once more, stone by stone, wall by wall, temple by temple. Cyrus's policies extend beyond religion. He established a complex administrative network, combining local leadership with overarching oversight. Provinces retained a degree of autonomy, yet remained united under the Persian crown. This allowed for efficient governance over a vast, culturally diverse empire stretching from Asia Minor to the Indus Valley. The long-term impact of these policies cannot be overstated. For the Jewish people, the rebuilding of the temple marked a new chapter in religious and cultural history. For the Persian Empire, Cyrus's approach became a model of enlightened governance, emphasizing respect, inclusion, and administrative sophistication. In the final moments of this epic tale, we see Cyrus the Great not merely as a conqueror, but as a historical figure whose action reshaped nations, cultures, and the course of history. His victories were not only military but civilizational, leaving a legacy that echoed through time, immortalized in both history and legend.